Hmm. This is an early morning something. Most people would be ready for work, but here I'm gonna address this, seeing that some folks have an issue with my opinion. I was supposed to come on here and talk about this since yesterday, but seeing that somebody even take it far as to come personally inbox me regarding my opinion on Jada and Will's business, I decided I was gonna come here and I'm gonna see what I have to say. Now, the first thing we need to do is that we need to go and look up the definition of the term entanglement, right? We need to go and look up the definition, and you will see that entanglement is a synonym for words like affair, relationship, all of that. So if Jada decides to call it an entanglement, that's her business, and it is what she saw it as. I looked at the round table, I looked at the red table, and I listened to Will and Jada from the beginning to the end. And I'm just gonna base my version, my stance on what was revealed in the interview. Now, according to the interview, Jada and Will were basically finished. They were finished. Will even said that he did not think he would have spoken to Jada again. That is how bad it was. That is how bad it was. So how can I or anyone said that she cheated? Which part of that is cheating? You walked out on your marriage. You walked out on your marriage and you left a woman in pain. She could, as a matter of fact, when I look at this whole interview, I am deducing a couple of things. Firstly, Jada was very easy on Will in that interview, because Jada could have accused him of cheating. Jada could have revealed the reasons, the actual reasons why she's claiming that they decided that they were going to split up. I hardly believe that this was Jada's decision to really split up. I think it was more Will, because I am looking at it from a woman's perspective, right? And one of the things with we as women, I'm not saying that it is right, but one of the things with we as women is that when we are in relationships with men and we're not getting the attention and the love that we want, we will talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. And I'm gonna say this morning here, women and men, there are men too who does this, eh? Because when you are in a relationship with someone and they're not really giving you the love that you crave for, you will tend to talk and talk and talk about it. And it's not the right thing to do, but it is what we do as human beings until we learn to not say anything and start to act. People take us for granted because they say we're nagging, right? And so that's the excuse for running. Now, Jada, imagine the situation, right? And imagine what would have gone down before they decided to split. It probably would have been Jada, the one who is nagging, who is talking and talking and talking because Will is into whatever he's into. Because I'm sure Will was not a saint in all of this. So she would have been talking, 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 and he's like, he's fed up of it. Right? Because we know how women sometimes when we get and he's fed up of it, so he can't take it anymore. So they're saying that they decided to amicably split. But look at the whole situation. According to what Jada is saying, and from what I researched, is that Jada was also at the time dealing with a young man and trying to help him, but she herself needed help because she would have been in an unstable emotional position. And she said, and she alluded to that when she said that she had issues to deal with, because there were issues of insecurity. Some of it would have come from her and her whole lack of trust in men, and some of it may have come from Will and what he was doing. But she owned up to it in that interview yesterday, that I saw day before yesterday, and she said that she owned up to, she womaned up to her part of the whole thing. Up to the time, I know Will has not woman up to his part, but she woman up to her part of the situation, acknowledging that she had issues because she probably was nagging Will. And so he decided to leave. So she in her vulnerability, and this is what people are missing, and this is why a lot of relationships will fail, because sometimes we look at a cut and dry, but we don't see what is happening underneath. So in her state of vulnerability, and I'm not defending her, because if I were in her situation, I probably, the thing that I would have done if I'm gonna be getting an entanglement is to do it with somebody who was a man, who was a real man that could stand stuff, and at the end of the day, don't go calling my name because he thinks that, okay, he should air this thing, and he's just throw out an album and he wants the fame and everything in it. You understand? So that is what I am upset with Jada for going with a little boy basically who would have been in his early 20s and she's in her 40s or whatever. That's what I'm pissed off about with Jada. That's what she did wrong. But Jada was not in a relationship with Will. The only thing that tied them together was the legal paper. Will told everybody, the world, that they had left. And you see, Ronald Henry, and a lot of men are jumping onto this, but you are missing the point. You are missing the point. When you leave your relationship, the woman has no obligation to you to put up herself until when you are ready to come back. Now, Will is in his 50s and he realized that he can't get any better woman than Jada. I mean, he could get them lovely and he could get a pretty woman, but there is something about a woman specifically for a man that will attract that, and Jada is it. So he realized after he went out, he left her in all that pain and went out. Instead of helping her through her shit, he went out and he wanted to go because he thought that there was better fishes in the sea. So he went out and he got whatever, and he did whatever, and now he decided, okay, well, Jada was really the person, so he's back now. And then all of this coming out now, and he's ashamed, but he should be, and that is why he had to sit down at the wrong table, because he is ashamed, because now everybody's saying, okay, well, this little boy that Jada went with, and now, so he's ashamed. And he should be ashamed. And some people say, wonder why he got to take her back. Well, he doesn't have to take her back, but he realized that after he would have sown his wild oats that he can't find a better woman than Jada. She may have been nagging, but hey, what? Let me tell you something. Hey, men this morning here, the bad men. Because there are good men out there who have women bad treating them too. So I'm not talking about the good men, but I'm telling you men out there with your egos as high as this, whatever, let me tell you something. When you have a woman and you see she's speaking and she's talking because of the things you're doing, that's because that woman cares, right? And you're thinking, okay, the best thing is to leave instead of addressing certain things because there are insecurities, and sometimes it is because of your actions. Sometimes she accuses you wrongly, and that's different. But if it's because of your action, then you need to be a man and stay in that relationship and address those actions that you are causing that woman to feel. Because when you leave her and you tell yourself that you're going out there to find somebody else, you know what's gonna happen? The next woman that you leave her for is gonna be doing the same thing, because you know what, we are all women, and you know what, we talk and we nag, but listen, I'm 42 years old and I don't nag. I don't even listen. I'm done with nagging. I am done with nagging. See me, I'm not even Jada. I walk. I block you. I walk and I leave the whatever so-called relationship. I block your ass and you don't find me nowhere. When you're looking for me, I gone long time. Because I'm too old for that kind of crap. No, oh, everybody's like, oh, you should make yourself happy first and whatever. Yes, I am responsible for my own happiness. But let me tell you something. What is the reason why two people decide to go in a relationship? Huh? What is the reason why two people decide to go in a relationship? If you ain't adding nothing, why is it that you want to be in a relationship? A relationship is not about the word love alone. A relationship is a commitment between two people to make each other better. And it therefore means that a relationship will contribute towards your happiness. Nobody tell me nothing different. And if you are in a relationship and you're not happy in the relationship, that relationship is not fulfilling. I don't care if it's a man or a woman. Your partner is obligated to make sure that they cater to your happiness in terms of considering you, communicating with you, doing little things for you. That's what makes a relationship work. And one of the things is like in the beginning, everything is fine and everybody just, lovey-dovey. And eventually, one partner, the one who loves the most, suffers the most because the other one starts taking that one for granted and putting the attention out there instead of putting in the work. Ain't no relationship can survive on love. It needs to be more than love. There needs to be action put towards that word named love. It's not lust and just the sex. It's the action put in towards that. And so these are the things that mess up relationship, right? So when you see Jada with haunting and talking about, oh, she cheated and all of them drama, which part did Jada cheat? We'll tell everybody, we'll just told the world that they were through. And he did not believe he could speak to her again because maybe she nagged him so much that he got fed up. And then he thought that the easiest thing was for him to walk out of the relationship and go and do whatever. So if she decide that because people are missing this, this would not have just been happening. This would have been happening for a long period of time where probably she's insecure, some of it for her own self and some of it towards with her partner. And so, the nagging over time would have got to a point where he had enough. And he's saying, okay, I'd just rather walk out of here and go and sow my wild oats. While she stays and whatever. No, she got entangled. It is what it is because that's an entanglement because if she had chosen like Eddie Murphy or some other one of them, a high caliber kind of man to really have an affair with, she could have called it an affair. But that's an entanglement because when I looked at the history of this man, I'm not trying to bring him down, but I'm saying that he was immature, a 20-something year old, having so much issues, and so she knew that was not the ideal situation. But who thinks about the ideal situation when they are in pain and just needing to just sometimes you're not even thinking. So you expect her to sit on just sit down there in the house and wait until Will is ready to come back. You all expect her to do that, right? In all fairness, and tell me about any man. Only nice men. There are some nice men and they get mashed up by women. And like I said, I'm not talking about there are some nice men who will sit and wait on a woman who doesn't want him. And I feel for those men too, and it's the same way. But when you decide to leave a relationship, you must think about the consequences of your decision. Now, when you decide to leave, think about the fact, how would I feel if I see that person with somebody else? How would I feel? How would I feel if this person were to get married to somebody else? Think about the consequences. Am I really sure that I don't want this person back in my life? Because once you walk out that door, that person, regardless to what society wants to think and that a woman shouldn't rush into a relationship so soon, the person does not owe you anything. You left. Even the Bible tell you, tell me if I'm wrong, but I could recall the Bible say that man should not put away the wife unless the wife commits adultery. She did not commit adultery. She doesn't owe anybody any explanation. Yes, Selena, exactly. She does not owe anybody any explanation. So everybody is like, they owe whatever if Will can't make a wife happy, who is whatever and what. Let me tell you something. Will is just like any other man. You understand? He had his weaknesses, the old, and when you look at that wrong table, he's ashamed. But the fact is, that's a one-sided interview there because he never revealed what he did. Yeah? Do you think that Will was sitting on the wire all this time while Jada and him was mashed up and not have sex? Do you think he was? Do you think so? Why you want to think that Jada should sit down there and wait on Will? Do you think that Will was doing the same thing? No, you can't be double standard here. You cannot be double standard here. It has to be, you're looking at this and you look at it from both sides. And that's the hypocrisy in society, putting one standard for the woman and another for the man. Now, when you leave your relationship, you leave it wide open to any possibility. So he did not want her. He was done with her. And she did whatever she wanted to do. And she's a grown woman. And she owes nobody an explanation. Nobody, not even Will. She owed an explanation because he had left. But she was woman enough to sit down there and do that. And then Will is pushing words in her mouth because she called it an entanglement. Look up the meaning of entanglement and you will see what it means, right? And so she called it an entanglement because she thought that that was a fitting word for it. She did not call it a relationship, but even though entanglement means a relationship, affair, all of that, but it's kind of complicated. That's what it was to her. Let me ask Sally something. We know that men do have side, whatever and whatever. You hear any man call it whatever? If you sometimes when you ask a man, are you in a relationship with her? He will say no, he's just having sex. He calls it whatever he wants. So she's calling it an entanglement because that is what she wants to call it, and that is what it is. If she says it was an entanglement, that is what it is. Nobody put any words in her mouth and say, oh, whatever. Men call it fling, men call it just squeezing a piece, men call it all thing. And nobody questions that. But they want to question her. She's her own woman. She doesn't owe anybody an explanation. Not even Will she owed an explanation. Because he left the relationship. He left her hurt and unwanted. Low self-esteem. All of that crap would have been happening. So you think she's Job and Jesus Christ, so she gonna just sit there and just wait, and somebody who obviously doesn't want me, who walked out on me? No, that's craziness. That's madness. And Mitchell Green said, of course, block and delete, no long conversation. I don't have no time for no long conversation. You come in my inbox, you want to question my opinion concerning something. You're entitled to have your own opinion regarding this situation. It's out there for everybody. But people looking at this, but you have to look at the principles behind this. And a human being, she's a human being first and foremost. And when we fail to understand people on a human being level and start judging and beating them down, then we have a problem. This should be a situation where we learn from. Is that when we have relationships, we don't take them for granted and say there are better fish out there to fry, or better fish in the sea to catch. We look at the person and we grow and we heal with them. We grow and we heal with them because every one of us have baggage. Every one of us, we have our fears and we have our mistrust because we've been hurt. As long as you live long enough to be, let's say, 25 years old or even younger, you would have been maybe entangled or whatever, get involved with somebody and they have broken your heart. And so you come with mistrust and all of that into relationships, and you just, we are all broken people, some of us more so than others. And we need to look at when people do their actions, we need to look at it from that perspective. And like I said, stop talking about the woman cheated because she never cheated. They were separated. She never cheated. Helena, people who are not married have no idea about what goes on. But hey, let me tell you, Helena, I am not married, but I have some clues. I have a lot of clues. I've seen it, and so I know some of the stuff that goes on. And sometimes that is the thing that turns me off marriage, honestly speaking. But I'm telling you, it's human beings you're dealing with, and the same standards that go for the male should go for the female. So when you are separated, only the paper that is binding. But it's true. It's true. Common sense will tell you that it's just the paper binding you. That was what was holding them together. Emotionally and physically, you have no relationship. Exactly. Don't even waste your time with these people. Me nah, listen. I just have to think. Hey, when you are in an emotional state, rational and logical thinking are not activated, and it's true. This happens for men and it happens for women. And sometimes we try to change the way our biology is made up. And we know women already. And let me tell you, this is one thing that I know for myself as a woman. Okay? No, there are women who get into relationships for the sake of convenience. No, these women would not think twice about cheating with somebody else. But then there are women who genuinely love a man. And these women will only get entangled if they are neglected in the relationship. So that's the lesson that we need to learn here. If a woman if I'm in a relationship with you and I can't communicate with you and I can't feel loved by you, I'm gonna find it somewhere else. I'll find it somewhere else. You could say, oh, but you're supposed to just love yourself. But who do you love? Do you practice what you preach? Men go out there all the time. They have affairs out there. So you have to look at this as both ways. Women ain't no different. We have feelings the same way. We have feelings and we want to be loved and we love affection. We love communication and we love spending quality time together and all of that. Now, there are unhealthy boundaries where some women just want to just have their men 24/7 and cling to them and don't want them to go anywhere. I'm not talking about that kind of crap. That's on another psycho level. But I'm talking about genuinely, no matter how, and we don't, and why you think we get into relationships? I mean, I'm an independent woman. I can take care of myself financially and every other how. But why you think I'll get into a relationship? I wouldn't get into a relationship for finances, for whatever. I'm getting into a relationship because I want to share my experiences and feel love and feel, involved with someone. I wanna add someone to my life so that I can and share what I have and get from what they have. That's what I want. So and Jada is an independent woman, she doesn't need Will for money. So she would have been needing him for other things that he was willing to give to other people besides her, And yes, she went about it the wrong way by all the constant nagging. At some point, she should have just catch a plane and go somewhere else and relax herself because she had that kind of money. I don't stick around with men that giving me stress like that. I pack my bag and I'm gone. I'm gone. That's it. I'm gone. I ain't sticking around. I got money in my pocket. Ronald Henry said, "You are making much sense. Men don't ever man up to their..." But that is it. And sometimes you see it as an ego thing, but I love a man who can actually be humbled. Because a man who is humbled is and a woman who respects a man and don't take advantage of him being humble, that's a really cool combination. When you have a man who is humbled and if he does something wrong, he can say he's sorry. And you as a woman, you can respect that man and don't walk all over him. That I tell you, it doesn't get any better than that. It does not get any better than that. And sometimes it's the pride, but the pride causes us our relationships. The pride causes us our relationships. And when we have specific standards for one and the other, we don't have any standards, that's the problem. And that's what we need to be dealing with. And if out of this lesson, that's what we need to be taking out of this lesson. Not talking, blaming her, bashing her, she cheated. She never cheated. She never had any obligation to Will because Will basically left the relationship. He's saying that they were saying, it's amicably, and he's saying, I'll get back to you. I'll get back at you. Like, seriously, everybody knows that Will was not celibate in those times that they were. Everybody knows that Will was not celibate. I don't need to have proof to know that he was not celibate in all of this. He decided to leave her because he was fed up with the nagging and everything else that was going on. So get a grip on it and leave the woman alone. I am done with this topic this morning here. If we don't want to learn from this, let us don't learn. We got to learn from this, because if we don't learn, we'll always have this problem happening. Men and some women going out there having their good time and then neglecting their partner in their relationship. And in the end, they come back and expect their partner to be sitting and waiting on them. Exactly, Byra Rose. She owes no one any explanation. He left her house. Roof covers a lot. Exactly, house roof covers a lot. I am sure many people thought they were happy all this time she was going through hell. Exactly. And exactly. So give your woman the attention that she needs. There are not a lot of fish in the sea. Trust me. There is not a lot of fish in the sea. When you have a good woman and you have a good man, give that person the love and affection and the attention that they need. As long as they're not abusing you and they're not psycho, give them what they need. Because guess what? When you're thinking that it's easier to just leave and go and find somebody else, it will be a cycle. Because when you go out there, you're going to find it's a cycle. Especially, I'm telling you men this, because not because I'm bashing you, but because I care. Because I have a son too. You understand? And when you think that you're going out there and you're gonna meet somebody else that's not gonna nag you, you're lying. You're lying to yourself. Because that woman eventually will find that same fault. Because it's a fault in us, you know. Both men and women, we have faults, right? And so sometimes we feel that the best thing is to leave. But sometimes we need to take a look at ourselves and see what we are doing. And if we reflect on our habits and our behaviors and we deal with them instead of leaving the person thinking that the person is the problem, we will be better off. So when you leave the relationship and you're saying, I'm going to find somebody better, and the person did not do you anything, all the person wanted was your attention, and you leave that relationship and you go and find somebody else, you going back in the same cycle, because you know what? You never change. You never change. It's your fault. It's your fault. And Will is ashamed now, and that's why Jada had to come out to make him feel good. But I wasn't going to do it. I was not going to do it, and I commend her for it because she's humble, but I wasn't going to make him feel good. I would have him at that red table, whatever, wrong table, whatever, red table, and I would have questioned him about other things, and I would have revealed what exactly happened, why we decided to amicably leave the relationship. That's what I would have done. And and she's like, I think you get me back already. No, you not think you know he got you back already. He got you back already. Plenty times over. Robbie Benjamin say, real talk, my sister. Robbie, if you live by these standards, tell me you and a woman go be in good things, unless she just takes advantage of you. Because the problem is, when you're nice, whether man or woman, you have your partner sometimes will tend to not, they don't appreciate it and they'll take you for granted. So that's the sad thing. But like I said, there are not a lot of fishes in the sea. There are not, there's a lot of fishes, but not quality fishes. So when you have a quality man or quality woman, do the things that you were doing in the beginning. Both of you, set goals for your relationship and do the things you were doing in the beginning of your relationship. Constantly do them. Don't neglect the person and say, okay, well, you have them already. That's the problem. When one person takes the other for granted, we have them already. So, everything just goes down, and then all of the suspicions and all of the insecurities and all of these miscommunication, everything starts dropping in, and that's where the problem lies. Robbie says sometimes they think the grass is greener on the other side. Exactly, it's not greener. It is not greener for the most part. If you're not in an abusive relationship, if your partner is treating you well, if they're providing for your needs and they're not unfaithful to you, it's not greener on the other side. It doesn't get better than that. It does not get better than that. And some people might say, oh, she's single, you don't know anything about me. But she's single and she ain't in no position to talk or whatever. I ain't stupid. I know what I want for myself, and when I see it out there, as a matter of fact, I'm speaking to you here, and just across from me, there's a married couple just across from me, and they've been married for years, and I just admire this couple. I've spoken to them, and when he told me, he said we still find time to date. And we still find, and he appreciates his wife and his so when sometimes when he come, the gate is already open for him. And both of them, they just appreciate one another. And I'm looking across and I say, that's the kind of relationship I want for myself. It's not a fairy tale, but it requires work. And it requires that we appreciate and respect the person that is in our life. And it takes two of us to make something work. And one person cannot make a relationship work. And love by itself does not work. Commitment. Because if you love the person, you can still leave them. You can still leave somebody you have loved because you're not committed to making it work. Somebody's not committed. Alright? And I'm just sick and tired of all of this messy. The world is right now, we have so many stresses, and the last thing we should be doing is having this kind of drama. Especially now more than ever, we need to be forming partnerships that are productive more now than ever, because this thing is not gonna get better. And so you need people in your life, have your back and you have their back. And so you make each other's life better instead of worse. Contribute towards a healing and a growing relationship. That's just it. Annie Green said, that's your business. That doesn't mean you have no knowledge or no. Exactly. Share what you know. It may be absolutely. Exactly. Because at the end of the day, there are people who are in relationships doing so much crap. And then you out here and you just looking and you wondering why the hell they behave. You understand? But then we can't really judge because we're not in that relationship. But there are certain things that we know work. We know that communication works. We know that commitment works. These are things that doesn't change. Commitment towards the other person work. Catering to their needs in the relationship, because you have a relationship together, so there's certain things you ought to be doing together. You don't tell me I make myself happy and you go make yourself happy. That's selfish, and selfishness has no calling in a relationship. When you get into that relationship, you are required to contribute towards your partner's happiness. You are required to. And how do you do that? Spending time, quality time together, giving people their space at the same time. Don't be controlling to them, respecting them, helping out with their financial needs if they need that. And these other things. Your partner come home from work and you're sitting down and you think, give them a little massage, prepare a meal. These are the things you do. And if both persons do their part, we're going to have better relationships. We're going to have better relationships. And I always say I'd rather be single than be in any kind of hapsy-scrapsy. I ain't have no time for no hapsy-scrapsy. And I would prefer to walk than be caught up in something like that, because every bad relationship just detracts from your goals in life and your purpose. So every time you mess up in a bad relationship, every time you find yourself in a bad relationship, it stalls your growth. It stalls your growth because you keep trying to find, you're trying to always find time to heal when you should be doing something else with your life. You just caught up, and sometimes we say get to know people before you let them in, but because people change sometimes, and sometimes they're not as committed. And I'm saying that if you feel that you are in a relationship and you reach to the point where you no longer want the person, just tell the person the truth. Tell them the truth. Don't lie to them and have them holding on to something that is not there. Tell them the truth. Be man or woman enough to tell the person the truth that you don't need them, so that they feel free to just go about their business. And when they decide to go, don't expect that they owe you anything, because the minute you leave the relationship, the man does not owe you anything. You have left the relationship. They don't owe you anything. Edwina say only hopeful who feels it, knows it. House roof does cover plenty, yes. Bless, good morning, yes, Derry. So good morning to you too. Anyway, guys, listen, I am done with this topic, honestly speaking. I just had to think here because I can't take all the nonsense and the double standard. I think that both men and women can learn from situations like these. So that if you value the people in your life, they will not be doing crap. And you can't leave someone and expect them to still be there waiting for you. That's unfair to the person. The person has a life. Whatever it is, you left them messed up. You didn't try to get them to get healing in their messed up situation. You left them messed up. And so they are dealing with it however they wanna. And as much as it may pain you, you gotta mind your business, because you left them. You choose to leave them messed up. You didn't try to stick it out because you thought it was easier to just leave and let them go deal with their problems on their own. Yeah? So whatever they did, and you just gotta respect it. Respect that. They don't owe you any people don't owe you any thing. Well, yeah, that's it. Life goes on, celebrity world, but people having celebrities like if they're not human beings, and having double standards, because when a man cheats, you don't hear that kind of thing, and so when a woman cheats now, well, she didn't cheat, but I'm saying that they saw it as cheating because she should not go with him so soon, and she should not go with him. But you don't know, she was messed up. She was messed up. No woman in their right mind go with a person like that. He has so much problems, it's not even funny. And I think that's the biggest mistake that she made. Is not, she didn't cheat, but my thing is that she should have been going for some hot man, find some hot man, some man with caliber, so that she's, because I always say, you see me, if I'm out of a relationship, I stepping up the game. I ain't going no lower. I'm stepping up my game. I'm going up there. And she is a woman, and she's beautiful. She's independent. She could have found a thing. But then again, she was messed up. She wasn't really in that kind of frame, a healthy frame of mind. So things happen. Just like how men will do things and they say things happen, is the same way for women. It's not no different. It's not no different. Especially, and a woman who is emotionally starved. A woman who is emotionally starved and don't have it together will find herself in a situation that in normal times she wouldn't do. She's hurt like that, she gonna find herself doing things that she wouldn't normally do. And that's something that men need to understand. Now I'm out of here, people. Have a great day. Blessed.